Welcome to English 10 Podcast, where learning English feels like a friendly stroll through a cheerful park.
I'm Tom, and this is my partner in Punster Crime, Mia. Today we tell a story about dreams, goals, and future plans.
Our goal is simple: make you smile while you learn. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a tale where plans get a little wild and dreams get a surprising punchline.
Ready? Let's begin our funny, warm adventure about chasing dreams, without losing the sense of wonder or the beat of a good joke.
Dreams. Once upon a Tuesday, not long ago, Tom and I decided to chase our most ridiculous dream: to become famous explorers of everyday life.
My dream wasn't about climbing mountains or leaping tall buildings. No, I dream of exploring the tiny wonders, the perfect cup of coffee, the mysterious maze of the grocery store, and how to pronounce croissant without getting bakery judgment.
I dream of teaching with spark and laughter, turning lessons into little adventures where we discover new words, sing a silly phrase, and maybe even invent a dance for verbs.
We started with a silly step, a daily word of the day ritual, except the word was a secret handshake that turned into conversation. It didn't exactly unlock a door, but it unlocked laughter.
What small funny step can you take this month to move toward your dream?
I'll save a tiny coin every day for a future trip, mostly to the kitchen and back. And I'll practice English with a friend by describing random objects in a ridiculous accent. If I can name a spoon and a mug with drama, I've earned progress, and probably a giggle.
I'll keep a silly notebook of new words, but I'll draw little doodles next to them. For every new word, I'll tell a short, goofy story to make it memorable. If I'm laughing, I'm learning. Now for goals, the grown-up cousin of dreams, but with better snacks.
Realistic goal? Finish a short online course about travel photography. It's doable in a few weeks, like finishing a season of a favorite show, but with fewer cliffhangers and more captions.
My goal is to design and run one teaching activity that makes my students grin and talk. Maybe a word treasure hunt or a goofy debate about which fruit is a superhero. I'll prepare the materials, test it in a small group, and enjoy the reactions.
Goals help us turn wishful thinking into funny, doable steps. If I learn, I can take photos that actually tell stories. And if you run a playful activity, your students will happily volunteer as co-stars.
How do you turn a dream into a goal?
First, I write down the dream like it's a friend who needs direction. Then I break it into tiny, silly tasks with gentle deadlines. I make a plan, practice, and when something shifts, I improvise with a grin. The dream stays in sight, but the route can wobble, and that wobble often makes for a funny story.
I love that. Breaking it into small steps keeps me from slipping on banana peels of overwhelm. And if one step falls, we just invent a new dance to recover. Future plans. 5 years from now, what mischief can we be up to?
I imagine traveling to 3 countries, learning a new skill, and maybe starting a tiny travel blog that's mostly photos and pun captions. I want to speak more confidently, help others with tips, and tell stories that sound like postcards from a best friend.
In 5 years, I'd like a steady teaching job, a few online classes, and a rhythm that makes room for hobbies and naps. I'd love to visit a language exchange cafe and meet new friends who laugh at my pronunciation quirks.
The fun part is that imagining the future gives us a map for today, even if the map has doodles and doodles.
What one plan do you need to do this year to keep moving and stay entertained?
I'll set a travel fund budget and keep a weekly practice routine. I'll track progress in a notebook maybe with a silly sticker for every milestone. Sundays become review day, a tiny ceremony with coffee and a pep talk for my future self.
I'll design one fresh lesson plan each month and test it with a student group. If it works, I'll reuse pieces later and brag a little about the success. Nicely, of course.
Balance and obstacles.
Obstacles arrive like uninvited guests who stay for dessert.
Busy days and fear of failure can trip us up. When that happens, we turn the setback into a punchline and learn. Progress isn't perfect, but even a stumble can become a funny story we tell later.
I agree. Laziness and pressure also crash the party. We counter by inviting friends to cheer us on and by keeping goals small and doable. A flexible plan helps. One bad day doesn't ruin the whole episode.
And asking for help is heroic. A teacher, a friend, or a mentor can share ideas and remind us we're not alone.
How do you stay motivated when things feel heavy?
I create a goofy visual board with tiny goals and a photo of my dream trip. I read a few bright quotes, chat with a friend, and celebrate tiny wins. If I can smile at progress, I stay hopeful.
I use a calendar to set reminders and to celebrate small victories, like finishing a lesson or saving a few dollars for coffee on the road. The celebration keeps the momentum and the mood light.
Part 5. Practical tips for listeners. Set clear, simple goals that fit on a sticky note and still feel exciting. Break dreams into small, funny steps that you can actually finish. Schedule practice in short daily sessions that become a habit. Track progress with a notebook or app, and don't forget the silly stickers. Seek support from friends, teachers, or online communities who enjoy a good laugh.
Do you have a favorite tip to share with our listeners?
Yes. Start with one tiny action today. If you begin now, you'll feel momentum tomorrow. For example, say one new English sentence aloud before bed, or describe your dream to a friend with a smile.
I love that. Consistency beats intensity. Keeping things light and funny makes the journey enjoyable and sustainable. Conclusion. Thanks for joining our playful tale about dreams, goals, and future plans on English 10 podcast.
We hope the story gave you ideas and a little courage to take the next tiny step and a lot of smiles along the way.
If you enjoyed it, tell a friend and try a small activity with someone you know this week.
Share your dream and your first silly step in the comments or send us a message.
We'll be back with more friendly conversations and easy English. Until next time, keep dreaming and laughing. Goodbye, everyone. See you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.